How do you make money? Well, you can make money by working and... No. How do you make a lot of money? And pretty damn fast? Maybe by selling drugs? Yes! Like this guy. He made $50 million in 70s New York. Or what about this guy, who claimed he's been doing $1 million selling heroin in Harlem in the early 70s and got so popular that even got his own movie, one of the best actors portraying him.
The goddamn sunglasses on.
Not bad. Or this guy, who by the age of 19 was running his internet drug empire from his own childhood bedroom. At the time of his arrest, he had 15,188 bitcoins to his name. That would be more than $400 million to today's calculations.
Ist noch Geld da?
Also auf dieser Wallet ist auf jeden Fall kein Cent.
But what about this number? $500 billion. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. That makes me just aggressive. This is insane. Who is making this type of money in a year? Amazon maybe? Microsoft? Apple? Right? Let's talk about Mexican cartels.
Border officials are sounding the alarm over the increase in cartel activities.
This is some of the most well-equipped, well-armed, most dangerous people on earth.
Mexico has registered nearly 250,000 homicides in the last 12 years.
In this video, I want to figure out how the Mexican cartels became so powerful and how this highly profitable business brings immense violence throughout the country.
2 of the U.S. citizens were found dead in the border town of Matamoros.
Go! No, please.
We will try to answer the question, why is it so hard to clean the country from those criminal organizations and put everyone under control of only one authority, the government?
The commission bluntly says the global war on drugs has been a failure.
The United States has the legal ability and the moral right to strike.
And it's now time for America to wage war on the cartels.
Why is, after spending trillions of dollars from the US, Mexican war on drugs still a failure, and is the US going to send its army inside a foreign country to fight these organizations?
We're going to unleash the fury and might of the United States.
We are not going to permit any foreign government to intervene in our territory.
De los republicanos a México.
In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
October 17th, 2019. It's a quiet afternoon in the city of Culiacan. An elite group of soldiers arrive at the residence of Ovidio Guzman, the son of the most famous cartel boss, Joaquin Guzman, aka El Chapo.
He was the world's most wanted drug trafficker.
You know this guy. Back to Ovidio again. The plan is simple. Quickly detain him at his residence and transport him to Mexico City. This is the actual video of the arrest of one of the most influential drug lords in Mexico. Everything goes as planned. They actually capture him. But then, things quickly get strange. Guzman is told to make a phone call. An officer tells him, quote, "Tell them to stop everything." But wait, what does that mean? Stop what? What is going on? And this is where it actually gets really interesting.
Fierce firefight that followed a police raid,
turning the streets into a war zone. Vehicles set on fire to keep the authorities out.
A calm afternoon in the city of Culiacan is not calm anymore. During Guzman's arrest, the Sinaloa cartel, who has enormous power in the region, stormed the streets, kidnapped the security personnel, burned cars and buses, set up blockades across the city. Mexican security officials quickly realize they are overpowered, so they need Guzman to call off his men. So guns pointed at his head, Guzman tries to calm down his men. But it's too late. heavily armed 700 cartel gunmen take over the city, threatening mass civilian deaths and murder of families of military personnel if their jefe is not released. And guess what happens? Hours later, the president of Mexico gives the order to release the prisoner. The head of one of the most brutal and criminal organizations in Mexico is free again. A man who they have been trying to capture for years. Okay, wait a minute. I'm confused. So the Mexican government let the drug lord of one of the biggest cartels go, let him free, because they were what? Scared? Like, what the fuck? This example shows just how complex the Mexican drug war actually is. To understand the bigger picture, we have to go back to 2006, during the presidency of this guy. Felipe de Jesus Calderón Hinojosa. He came to power in late 2006 and started using Mexican military against the cartels in a very aggressive way. Massive joint deployments of Mexican land, air and maritime units targeted cartel leaders and successfully killed or captured many key personalities like this guy, José de Jesus. Why are they all called Jesus? Mendez Vargas, also known as the monkey of notorious La Familia cartel. Or what about this guy, Arturo Beltrán Lleva, aka El Barbas, another drug lord of the Sinaloa cartel. But here's the problem. Instead of destroying these organizations, they became fragmented. From one boss, multiple new bosses were born. So the violence didn't actually decrease, but rose exponentially and spread even more. It actually reached record levels in the last few years. You see, the Mexican cartels are not just this small group of street criminals who run away when they see the police. No, they are deeply anchored into the system. They control roads, they own businesses, they have heavily armed personnel and paramilitary groups who are sworn to protect them. They have too much control, and some people like them even more than the government. In 2012, it was estimated that Mexican cartels employed over 450,000 people directly, and a further 3.2 million people's livelihoods depended on various parts of the drug trade. So they are creating jobs in a country which has millions of people living in extreme poverty. So what is the way to stop this evil machinery? What is the way to put an end to this highly profitable and highly violent mega business? The all-in-all war with cartels and the federal government resembles a civil war. This guy tried that. It didn't turn out well. It just caused more deaths and more violence. Now this guy chose another strategy called abrazos no balazos, which means hugs, no bullets.
¡Viva México!
He chose to reduce the violence by avoiding casualties as much as possible and silently arresting drug bosses, some of which he had to release eventually. So that didn't work out as well. It only made Mexican government look even weaker in fight against the organized crime. So yeah, the beginning story with El Chapo's son seems absurd and funny. But this is the reality. The cartels have immense power, and they use immense violence to keep this power. Leave us be and do our business, otherwise your cities will burn. That strangely reminds me of this guy in The Dark Knight. But wait, he does not care about money, while the cartels very much do. In fact, this is their primary motivation. Also, this is why they are not classified as terrorists. While terrorists mostly have a political change as incentive for their actions, the Mexican cartels primarily care about making money, and making tons of it. And unfortunately, they do succeed. Thanks for watching. By the way, this guy, Ovidio Guzman, has been arrested again in the beginning of the year. Huge military vehicles and helicopters were involved. Yes, the cartels tried the same they did in 2019, blocking roads and burning cars, but this time the government showed way bigger huevos. This is kind of good news, right?